Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Duel the Takes. It's fall now. As of recording this, we are 2 days into the season of The Witch, and we are joined by not one but two special guests. But this episode is more focused on our guest of honor today, friend of the show, Nova. What's up? How's it been?
I turned into a woman, so that's me.
Based.
Well, I know that this is your favorite time of the year. There was a much anticipated episode for you last year, but due to scheduling conflicts, didn't end up happening. And we've been waiting a whole year since to bring you back and have you on the podcast. I'm so excited that you're here, Nova, and I know this is your favorite season of the year. So
This is the time to get sublime, is what my sister would say. This is gonna be the best Halloween I've had because it's just a much better place. So I'm pretty excited. And movies are actually starting to be scary again, so my spirits are lifted a little bit.
before we get into the Halloween movies, have you seen the new James Wan film? What's it called? Malignant?
Oh, the last I didn't really like it, but the last 20 minutes literally took me out of my life. Like, that was amazing.
I thought that shit was epic.
I love it. They went for it.
Yeah, it took me by surprise, for sure. I thought it was gonna be another ghost movie, but then it was totally not that. So I was happy about that.
Well, we're talking about a different, I guess, film franchise today. We are starting off the spooky month of October with ranking the Halloween franchise. Currently, there are 11 movies, but the same week this episode comes out, Halloween Kills is in theaters, and yeah, if you want to risk your life, go watch. And
My God.
COVID's a joke, but more or less the creepy people in the theater behind you eating their popcorn, and you never know. Michael Myers could be in the theater watching the movie himself.
Mike Myers. I love Mike Myers.
Mike Myers and Kanye West are sitting next to each other watching Halloween Kills.
Oh, no.
The way this is going to work, all 5 panelists have a veto. There's going to be vetoes allowed till the top 3, and then it's just going to be an all-out battle to the death with the 3 remaining movies. We're going to have Nova lead. Nova, what is the worst Halloween movie?
Dare I say, Halloween Resurrection is absolute shit. Awful.
Big facts.
I used to really like The Mask, only because it looked really skin tight and Michael looked sexy, but nothing about that movie was good.
Damn. Halloween Resurrection. I mean, within the context of the franchise, I definitely think it's the worst.
I like the idea, though.
But it's pretty fucking entertaining.
Definitely, for sure. The head cutting on the stairs, that was awesome.
I think Nate dislikes, was it Buster Rhymes just doing his karate shit on Michael Myers?
Wait, this is the one with Busta Rhymes?
It's so funny because the Halloween Resurrection is very clearly a spec script that was written just like for a horror, like a found footage-y kind of horror movie. Like, it just reeks early 2000s.
Yeah.
And then I guess they were like, oh, we can actually just make this a Halloween movie. And then so they kill off Jamie Lee Curtis in the first 5 minutes of the movie, and then they're like, yeah, and now it's just a haunted house movie with Michael Myers showing up and killing a bunch of teens. It's very, very weird. It's not a very good movie at all, but man, there's some entertaining scenes.
I do like the theme for that movie, though. The soundtrack is pretty good. Just the theme, though, not the rest of the soundtrack. The rest of the soundtrack sucks.
I kind of want to use a veto here because I get so much entertainment value out of it. For me, it's such a big shark jump for the Halloween franchise where it's almost like this franchise is Jason X, where it's so bad that it's entertaining on its own right.
Yeah.
But on principle alone, it totally damages a character and a group of like the story of all of these movies and just makes it some cheap horror shit. Like, it is really bad. I don't think I can defend it too much. Yeah, so Halloween Resurrection at 11, it makes sense. It makes sense. Nick, what is your 10th movie, or the second to the bottom on your list, or the lowest that is yet to be ranked?
And for 10, Halloween 2. Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, okay.
Rob Zombie's Halloween 2, like, I think it was an interesting, ambitious thing. He went forward with the whole everything regarding that, but I just feel like it wasn't executed right.
Yes.
How it was just too much and just not all there for me. Between the two Rob Zombie Halloweens, I think the first one is a lot better. It's not great, but for what it is, it's interesting, I think. But for a sequel, I did not think it wasn't. I don't think it was that great.
Octavia Spencer is in this?
Yeah, Octavia Spencer is in it.
Oh my god, she gets murked. Literally murked. It made me sad.
While we're mentioning the Rob Zombie Halloween movies here, what do you guys think about Malcolm McDowell as Loomis?
I honestly do not mind him. I think I don't think he's better than Donald Pleasance, but
of course
for
not.
taking the role, I think he did a pretty good job.
He made Dr. Loomis a fucking asshole, and I didn't really like that. I liked how Dr. Loomis was just like the crazy guy, but he was like low-key right all the time. I didn't really like how they made him a dick in Halloween 2. I couldn't stand him in that one.
Yeah, real big dick.
Dr. Loomis in the originals is slowly becoming like one of my favorite like supporting characters, I guess, in a horror franchise.
And Cursed is so good.
The reason why Cursed of Michael Myers is not in my is not in the bottom spot for me is simply because of how good Donald Pleasance is as Loomis and it coming full circle.
Yeah.
But I think we'll get there a little bit later. I'm totally okay with Halloween 2, the Rob Zombie one at number 10. This was my number 11. I think it's the actual weakest Halloween movie.
I agree.
Is Rob Zombie still making movies?
He's doing the Munsters, I think. Munsters or Addams Family.
Definitely not Addams Family. Maybe he's doing a really gritty take on Munsters, and I guess we'll watch that when it happens.
Oh god.
I actually do like, not to shit on Rob Zombie, I do like some of his movies. I think House of a Thousand Corpses is really a fascinating movie. I think it's like a fun return to form for like some like 70s kind of like grittier kind of like Texas Chainsaw Massacre-esque horror films. And I like The Devil's Rejects too.
Same. So good.
He's got the competency as a director, but handing him a franchise like Halloween just doesn't really make sense because I think what he does best is taking inspiration from films that he grew up watching and making them darker and twisted and modern, but doing that with such a beloved franchise and just ruining, like you said that in the Rob Zombie movies, Loomis becomes a giant asshole.
Yeah.
I feel like every single character, especially in Halloween 2, is a gigantic asshole.
They made Lori a raging cunt.
They're all not likable.
She was such a bitch in the second one. I didn't like her. And she was mean to Annie, and when she died, she regretted it. And you want to know why? Because she was a bitch. I hated Laurie Strode in the second one.
So we're not seeing any vetoes here either. Halloween 2, Rob Zombies at number 10.
Yes.
Shang-Chi just beat Rob Zombie's Halloween's record in September when it comes to box office.
The highest grossing of September's box office history is now a Marvel movie instead of Rob Zombie's Halloween. I feel mixed about this. One, I don't care about Marvel, but two, I really don't care about Rob Zombie's Halloween. All right, I'm going to go next here at number 9. I have a movie that I had placed at number 10, and I think this is going to be the first certified hot take of the episode. It's H2O.
Whoa, okay.
Agree.
I think Halloween H20 or 20 years later is probably one of the better scripts, one of the better stories we have gotten for a Halloween sequel. This kind of did it before it was cool in terms of making a sequel to the original before Halloween 2018 did it.
Yeah.
We talk about how this title has like Fast and Furious energy.
It really does.
Yes, it does. The poster with them all on it.
Like, that's my biggest problem with the movie. The poster looks like I Know What You Did Last Summer too.
The reason I like H2O so much is like for me, it's just like the fact that like again Laurie returns to H2O. It's like her first since the original movies. You actually see Michael die at the end, which I thought was a ballsy kind of cool move with her chopping off the head. I like the story of it and stuff because like I wasn't one of the writers to it was Kevin Williamson, one of the screenwriters.
I agree. There's a ton of like good merit to it, and I like the story of this movie a lot. The grand scheme of the Halloween franchise, this movie is such a footnote in the history of things because they simply just did this again in Halloween 2018. And while I think that movie has a much weaker story than this, you don't really see Laurie get her vengeance in the same way. And I love the scene where she's escaped, she's free, she can get away, but then she decides to become a hero, and she goes and she picks up that axe and goes back in.
Bad fucking ass.
That was a great.
It's the best scene of the movie.
When he's flipping the tables, right? That's around that part.
My biggest problem with this movie is it has all of the elements that I wanted from the original Halloween 2 and delivers them in such an interesting way. Takes place 20 years later, but technically this movie fucking sucks as a Halloween movie.
Yeah.
First off, the score, besides the main theme, is just the Scream soundtrack. I shit you not.
It's actually the Mimic.
Yeah, it's like a duplicated like track. Like it's almost the same exact thing. It's horrible. I guess they wanted the movie to be more marketable to like the slasher franchise in a post Scream world or something like that.
Yeah, because Scream had just come out and it was like a big thing, and they were doing like I Know What You Did Last Summer and all that shit, and they were like, let's ride the train.
Why did this come out August 5th?
Really?
My least favorite thing about this movie, though, is the cinematography. I think the score is borderline forgivable because of the era it's trying to do. It's trying to take a 70s slasher franchise and interject it into the 90s slasher momentum, and that I think can be forgiven. But this movie looks like a made-for-TV movie.
Yeah.
And with a runtime of just under 90 minutes, it pretty much is a TV movie with like a multi-million-dollar cast, which I think is just unforgivable. Don't cheap out on the production value for a slasher movie when like they've jumped the shark 3 times in this franchise already at this point. Like even some of the other sequels we're going to talk about later have a better like cinematography, have a better shot selection, are scarier. I don't think that this movie's scary after the first act where Laurie thinks she's seeing Michael Myers everywhere and is getting all paranoid because she knows it's been 20 years. Like,
yeah.
After that, the movie kind of just falls apart for me, except within the characters and the writing. And I think all of that is relatively well done, but
I don't like his mask. And it changes a lot.
His mask does suck.
It changes like there's 3 different masks used in the movie.
They did a CGI one for the TV version, and I thought that was so weird because it was like, why do the CGI if it's like or anything? I don't remember. It says it somewhere why they had to do it, but it was stupid.
Josh, Alden, are you guys feeling like you're in the territory to nominate one, or should we go around a second time?
I'll nominate one. I don't care.
Alden, what do you think belongs at number 8?
I do need to ask, though, what has been placed?
Yeah, Halloween Resurrection at number 11. Halloween 2, Rob Zombies, I think is 2009, number 10. And then number 9, we've got Halloween H20, 20 years later, H2O, whatever you want to call it.
That's such a bad title.
I thought it was about water.
Yeah, I thought it was about Michael Myers killing a bunch of mermaids, like that show H2O.
Oh, what are those videos? The guy's like, Clara! And he's like turning into a mermaid. It's so stupid. It's funny.
Halloween, The Way of the Water.
James Cameron's Halloween 2.
Oh, fuck no.
Michael Myers turns into a blue avatar with like that mask on.
That's Nate's number 1.
Oh, Nova, I love Avatar now.
Really?
That's my gimmick.
Oh my god.
But did you hear Kate Winslet held her breath underwater for 7 minutes filming the fucking Avatar 2 Way of the Water?
Yeah, no. I'd be dead in 2.
She literally broke her record for The Way of the Water.
Titanic trained her.
She's like, now I know how Jack felt.
How does it feel to let go, bitch? No door for you now.
All right, Alden, to you with number 8.
Curse of Michael Myers.
All right, respectable. Number 8.
Veto.
Oh, there it is, the first veto. Nova, what would you like to see instead of Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers here at number 8?
Halloween 2018. Terrible.
Whoa.
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 I'm torn. I like both of these movies.
I just think 2018 like rode so hard off of the like, I don't want to say it. Okay, but I'm gonna say it. You don't know why? Because I'm right. I felt like it was riding the PC culture like train, and it was like the kills were really good, but I felt like it could have been like so much more, and it feels a little watered down because they're focusing more like on Lori, and I felt like there wasn't enough Michael. Maybe I'm being picky, but he wasn't in that movie for as long as I wish he would have been. He was scary as fuck though when he was on screen, but when he wasn't around, I didn't ever feel.
I kind of liked the lack of Michael Myers though, because whenever he was on screen, it felt like a big deal.
Yeah, that's very true. It was very effective in that sense.
I think we get some of the goriest deaths in the franchise in that movie.
No, we do, but there's not a lot of death. Oh, wait, actually, you know what? I take that back. There is.
I was about to say, there's two scenes that stand out to me that make Halloween 2018 like a top 5 for me. And again, I think that script is not particularly the best thing ever.
Yeah.
That scene in the gas station bathroom
Oh,
where he kills the 2 podcast hosts, like they die like every podcast host, including myself, should die. In the truck stop bathroom to Michael Myers. But anyway, there's also that scene where it's like that one take and he's just going into houses and just murking babysitters and like a family and like all this shit. Like, I'm surprised they went there. Like, and that's a really well executed scene in terms of the style, and it
felt
feels
like a
the most
classic.
Carpenter-esque.
I can agree with that.
I'm holding 6 at a higher spot because definitely favorited 6 more than I favorite the 2018 one. I mean, I don't know. It just doesn't hit the spot for me.
I feel that.
Honestly, just for the fact that they went back to more of like how they did the first Halloween, where it's just more of like a mystery behind everything with Michael.
Yeah.
I can understand with the entertainment stuff, of course, but like to me, that's my problem with the sequels, I think, and it's just when they try to explain everything with the backstory, to give like explanation to like his abilities and what he's able to do, why he can't die. It just like pulls me out. I just like it goes back to the original, and also it feels a lot like the first Halloween. The only thing to me, like what I just don't like about a Halloween 2018 is like there's points where it can be too comedic and it ruins it a bit. And like it's like for me, I think a scene I think it could have been a lot more intense and scarier is when Michael kills the babysitters in the house of like was it when he's with the boyfriend and stuff, and she gets pulled into the closet because like literally like the little kid they're babysitting just like cracks. I mean, I know he's being scared, but it turns into like a very intense scary scene to like comedy really quick.
Everything he says, everyone's laughing at because he's responding.
I was so like into it. Then like when I heard people laughing, I was like, oh man, like it took me out like a little bit. I do appreciate some of the humorous stuff they go for with it, but when it impairs on the horror, that's when I have a problem with it. And also I do agree with Nate to like the story of it like is not, I think, not great, but I think it's for what it is. I like it. The thing I just don't like with the movie, because they never follow through with it, it's just kind of just there, is with the whole new Dr. Loomis and how like his whole motivation of wanting to understand Michael, and then he just dies in the end anyway.
Yo, he gets his head squashed like a fucking watermelon.
Such a cool death.
Yeah, it was good.
I was just going to mention that Jamie Lee Curtis's performance in Halloween 2018 is really good, though.
Oh, yeah, she's fucking awesome in it.
Back to the topic at hand. This is going up against Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers, which I've always kind of had a soft spot for. I like where they take the story and they bring the Thorn cult, the Thorn trilogy full circle in this movie. I do think within that trilogy of Halloween 4, 5, and 6, it kind of pushes the other 2 movies down so it can kind of elevate itself and kind of feel like this big grand conclusion of sorts. What I think kind of works really well about the movie is its stylization. As kind of cheesy and chopped together as the editing techniques are, I think it feels the most like its own thing, but still tonally resonant with the original Halloween movie. Also, I think Donald Pleasance gives a fantastic final performance in this movie. I think it might be Loomis at his most angry and at his most like upset.
Yeah.
He's so tired of having to deal with this shit every Halloween. He books his entire month of October. Like he's like, all right, well, I got to deal with some spooky shit again.
Yeah. Donald Pleasance looks sexy as fuck in that movie too. He looked like his best. I mean, it was his last performance, right? I was like, that's right.
I think it was in like the documentary of Halloween, where they had Carpenter and like the producers and stuff like that, and like I can't remember his name, but he was talking about how like he had a meeting with Mustafa Akkad, one of the other producers for Halloween, and said like he would do like 22 Halloween movies.
Aren't they at that number now, though? Oh, wait, no, they're at 11. What the fuck am I saying?
11 more, Nova.
10 more to go, yeah.
We'll get there eventually.
It feels like that. Oh.
Nova, I'm surprised to hear that you are trying to save Curse of Michael Myers, because I remember when we watched this one together, you hated it so much because of how bad they do Jamie so dirty in this movie after 4 and 5.
Okay, so you remember how like we always used to talk on the patio about like we were talking about all types of movies, right?
Yeah.
You were talking to me about Curse, and I gave it like a second chance, like way after like I moved. I decided to watch it, and I forgot how when I was little that shit scared me. Mind you, I had a little bit of an edible, so I was like, what? I felt like I was there. And like the scene with the mom and the sheets, and he's like around,
Oh,
like
yeah.
his mask looks scary to me. Even though it looks really ugly, it looks really freaky in 6. And I like the cool like 90s soundtrack because you can't find it anywhere. And the album versions on like Spotify, not what I'm searching for. It's like different.
Ironically, it does live up to its title.
Yeah.
It's probably the most cursed Halloween movie because there's 2 different cuts. There's the theatrical release and then like the producer's cut, which is just so odd to me. The producer's cut is the one that has like all the weird editing techniques, but that's the most commonly available one. That's the one that's on like DVD and stuff. The theatrical cut is on the new Blu-ray. I don't think they actually make the story that much different. It's kind of just the presentation, and the soundtracks are different too. So if you watched it on TV or something like when you were a kid, that was probably the version that scared you more, and that was probably the theatrical cut.
And find that somewhere when I have like Wi-Fi. Because I would really like to see that version. I've been watching the shitty one. Oh, hell no.
All right, sweet. So let's put it to a vote here. Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers, or Halloween for the number 8 spot. Alden, are you sticking with Curse of Michael Myers?
Yeah.
Staying here at number 8? Josh, where are you?
Some good arguments. I think I'm still gonna agree with Alden, though.
Nick, which one belongs here? Halloween, Curse of Michael Myers, or Halloween 2018?
At 8, I think Curse of Michael Myers.
Damn. Okay. Well, I was persuaded. I think Halloween 2018 could go here at number 8. That's okay. Nova, we lost the vote.
It's okay.
Do you want to recount?
No.
Good. You're not living up to your Florida nature.
Oh, hello.
Floridians, am I right?
All right. Number 8, Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Rip Donald Pleasance.
Donald Pleasance, I'm present.
President Donald Pleasance, please.
Rest in peace.
Josh, do you want to go at number 7, or should we go back around?
Should I just say like Rob Zombie's Halloween?
You
I
could.
agree.
Is that what you would have said, Nate?
I have one movie lower that's yet to be discussed, but you could put that there, and we could fight it out, and maybe have a veto used.
Yeah, let's see the debates here.
All right. So Josh, you're nominating Rob Zombie's Halloween at number 7.
I want to veto that one, but I don't want to waste it. I don't know.
Nick's about to
It's
swing.
Rob Zombie.
I can understand like the hate for Rob Zombie's Halloween, but I think why I like it so much is that I think it stands on its own for like its own little, like for its own thing, for the fact that it goes more in depth to the psychological aspect of Michael a little bit, and more of just like his home life and just everything leading up to like when he killed his sister, and then just like and everything after that. What I don't like about it, and I think a lot of people don't like it too, is just Laurie and some of the characters. I mean, Laurie was probably the most likable out of the main people, but like everybody else, like Annie's all right, but I really don't care about.
Everyone's very perverted.
Yes, very, very, very perverted.
But I didn't have a problem with it in the first one. The second one, it was like, okay, bitch.
That was just Rob Zombie putting his little touch on Halloween.
Yeah, I was like, okay, everyone's a pedophile now. Great, cute.
It's like Hollywood.
Literally. He's probably being metaphorical about it or some shit.
And also, like, when
He's adding like a hidden layers to a fucking Halloween remake. This is his eyes wide shut. He's trying to expose the Hollywood elites in a Halloween remake.
Oh my god.
I just remember watching it, it terrified me. I just thought Michael was a very intense dude, very just hard with the kills and everything with that. I love The Mask.
He's scary in the Rob Zombie movies. Shit.
Very scary. Just a tall, brooding dude.
He's very violent, and it's a force.
Very violent.
He is. The way he stabs someone, it's like, holy fuck, bro. Relax.
I think I'll use a veto here. I genuinely think that
Oh.
Rob Zombie's Halloween is scarier than what I'm gonna put here. And this is another movie I have a soft spot for, but it's Halloween 5.
Yeah, I can go with that.
The Revenge of Michael Myers is the next weakest movie. I think that Rob Zombie brings more interesting things to the story with going into the psychology of Michael Myers and almost giving his murderous spree some motivation, which is an odd take, but I do appreciate it. I think it makes the lore a little bit more interesting. I think Halloween 5 has a couple of really good things going for it. I like that it's a direct continuation of Halloween 4. As weird as that movie is, I think it does an okay job following it up. I think that there's some things that could be stronger. But my favorite thing about Halloween 5 is the visual style, the cinematography.
Okay.
It's very, very, very much an 80s Italian horror film, like an exploitation film almost.
Mm-hmm.
And I like that Dominique Othien Godard like throws his own visual style into a pre-existing franchise.
Nate, this sounds like I would really like it.
4 and 5 are okay. I know we're making a list, but they're my favorites. I love 5, but I totally agree in terms of like it's not as scary. It's more like slow burn, and then when it happens, it's like, oh shit. I do think Jamie Lloyd is probably I like her more than I like Laurie Strode 100 times.
Wow.
I love Jamie Lloyd's character. It's a fucking badass kind of like how they're linked mentally and stuff. I liked what they were trying to do. That shit was crazy.
I agree, and I think Danielle Harris is an incredible actress, especially how young she is in these two movies. Like,
yes, she's so good. Oh,
but yeah, I just don't think Halloween 5, besides the visuals, really brings anything new to the table. It's kind of more of 4, but with like more twists, and like that cool little like psychic connection between Jamie and Mike is cool. But it doesn't feel like warranted for the slow burn that this movie is.
yeah.
And I also really don't like the ending of this movie. I feel like they're always trying to like, oh, we gotta finish Michael off. But like, it's very clear that there was gonna be a continuation to this. There, in all the marketing material, it's like, oh, there's gonna be a third one to this like little trilogy. And obviously so much different happened in between the making of 4 and 5 and 6. It almost feels disjointed and kind of out of place with those other two movies now. Like, yeah, Rob Zombie brings enough visual flair. I like how gritty his movie is in terms of like the way it looks. It feels like
Young Michael is so good.
the dude who plays Michael in Halloween 5 is like my build. He's like fucking 5'8". Like, it's not scary. But Michael Myers in Halloween, the Rob Zombie movie, is yoinked. He's like 6'7" and like 280. He looks like he could crush anyone's skull under his foot. And I think that movie is the better Halloween movie. Even if I don't love Rob Zombie's take, it at least does something different. And that's all the franchise really needed.
With the flick of his wrist. Yeah.
Also, what was it with I think the Michael Myers that played in Rob Zombie's Halloween is the same guy who played Sabretooth in the 2000s X-Men movies.
That's dope. I didn't know that.
Oh yeah, Tyler Mane, I mean. Yeah, that's pretty neat. I know him from The Devil's Rejects because he's in that one too. Sweet. So that means we're back to you, Nova, with number 6.
I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, but I'm just getting it out of the way because the next one I'm picking is very important. The original Halloween.
What? At number 6?
Whoa, dog.
I'm not a fan of the original Halloween. I love Michael Myers, but I'm not a fan.
Who's vetoing?
Okay, I'm stepping in here. I was gonna try to save it because Nate saved me from the used his veto for saving Rob Zombie's Halloween. I was gonna save him on Halloween 3, but I gotta step in here.
Before you say what movie you're vetoing, Nova, I do want to hear your take on why you think it should be this low.
What numbers is 5, right?
6.
I think I gotta change it. Because if it was 5, it would...
I'm totally okay with you changing your mind. I'll edit around this.
Yeah, I'm gonna stand by my answer. And here's why. I don't think 1 is a bad movie. But for me, I didn't see the first movie first. I saw the 4th movie first. And then I watched the 2nd movie. And I never, if I had the whole series in front of
Interesting.
me, the first movie I'm going for is 4 or 2. 1 would be like if someone had a gun to my head and was like, pick a movie, bitch. And it better be one that I like. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
That's a weird scenario. Someone puts a gun to your head and is like, pick one of these 4 Halloween movies, and it better be one that I like, or I'm pulling the trigger. It feels like it's in the universe of Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Halloween 1 is scary. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, it's a fucking classic, obviously.
All right, Nick, what are you vetoing with?
Rob Zombie's Halloween at 6 or Halloween 2. And if I had to pick one of the two, I'll think of Nova's scenario. Someone's pointing a gun at my head to pick one or the other. I'll go with Rob Zombie's Halloween at 6.
Okay, so this is a fight. We've got the original Halloween versus the Rob Zombie remake of Halloween. This is tough.
Is it?
You know what? Veto.
Wait, Alden's also using a veto here. This is madness.
I'm gonna nominate another Halloween 1, 2018.
Oh my god, a 3-way fight for the worst Halloween movie named Halloween.
Why do I agree?
This is nuts.
It's Halloween 1. I told you.
I'm keeping my veto.
I was right to begin with.
So here at number 6, we have a 3-way fight between the original John Carpenter Halloween, Rob Zombie's Halloween, and the 2018 remake of Halloween.
They're all named Halloween.
3 movies named Halloween are fighting for number 6 on a Halloween franchise ranked list. Okay, when it comes down to the story, I think the first movie probably has like the most shallow plot, but that's also because it started it all. Not only did it start Halloween as a franchise, it more or less kickstarted the slasher genre into mainstream culture instead of just like really cheap exploitation films. So I think that alone kind of makes that safe for me, at least until the top 5, at least. Now, between Rob Zombie's Halloween and the Halloween 2018 remake, man, I like that Rob Zombie did a bold take, whereas I think the 2018 remake plays it a little safe. But I think the production value of the 2018 version of Halloween is like a perfect blend between like a major Hollywood movie and like a gory slasher. Like, I think it's got some of the most brutal kills. It's got to be one of the most crowd-pleasing movies. I mean, we saw this with a giant-ass group of friends, and everyone was laughing at one moment, scared in another moment. And one scene that stands out to me in particular of why Halloween 2018 has more good than bad moments is when there's that scene with like the kid who's like getting picked up by his like dad or whatever from like ballerina practice.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Everyone's like, oh, they're not gonna kill this like 12-year-old boy or whatever. Like they would never do that in a Halloween movie today.
Yeah.
He gets fucking destroyed by Michael Myers.
Literally.
And then it like that whole scene is so tense and so well done. I personally think that the weakest movie here is Rob Zombie's Halloween.
Agreed.
I agree.
I agree.
You guys can fight me.
No, I agree.
No, I'm not fighting you on that.
You didn't fight me.
It's Duel of the Takes, guys, not Duel of the Nates.
It's Duel of the I took NyQuil 45 minutes ago. I'm not sure how I'm alive.
How are you alive? You've been up for like ever.
Yeah.
This is like Nate's birthday trip all over again.
I feel the same way, but less nauseous.
I guess we're okay with Rob Zombie's Halloween being at number 6. Nick, to you with number 5.
Number 5, Halloween 2.
Interesting.
The only Halloween 2 left.
Well, none of us have vetoes except Josh. Josh, I know your little sister likes Halloween 2 more than the original. Are you in the same camp?
No, I have to disagree with Grace here. I'm not a huge fan of this movie. Like, I think it's fine. It feels like a middle movie, and it's really not, because Halloween 3, of course, does something different. Yeah, it's just, I don't know, your typical slasher movie. I think it's cool it's all set in one location in that hospital. I think it's a cool like set piece to do. I think it's really cool that it takes place right after the first one. I think we talked about this last year during the 80s horror movie bracket. I kind of wish this movie didn't exist and Halloween 3 was actually Halloween 2, so we can have more of what I think the Halloween movies should have been, or at least personally what I would have liked more in a Halloween series.
With like the anthology stuff. Yeah, that would have been really cool. I agree.
I think one thing that kind of hinders like Halloween 2 though is like they're like, yeah, we need to make a sequel to that first one and it needs to, be a direct continuation. It still had John Carpenter's blessing, but after the studio kind of forced his hand, I mean, at least it's got his isms in there still. He produced the movie.
He wrote it too.
Yeah, he wrote it. He also did the music again. So it's got the same crew working on it, except he's just not really directing it. He did actually some second unit directing, some pickup shots and stuff like that, though. So it's still...
I wonder if he did like second unit shots of when Ben Tramer gets wrecked by Donald Pleasance in the car.
Oh,
probably did.
Getting Michael Myers there. That should make me laugh.
I feel like the movie needs more Laurie in it. If this is a sequel to the first movie and the twist at the end is the twist that it is, I feel like she should be cognitive and before the third act.
Also, the presentation of the twist that could have been done so much better.
I agree.
I do think it's a good twist though, and in my headcanon, I still have a hard time believing that Michael Myers is not Jamie Lee Curtis's or Laurie Strode's brother in the context of the new Halloween movies that are being released now. I think they're probably going to do that twist again. I'd be very surprised if they don't.
Well, it's weird that they brought it up in the original and then the character went, oh, that's just a dumb rumor, like it was a bad thing, but I feel like maybe there was an against to it. I wasn't around at that
Plot
time.
twist, they're cousins.
And they were roommates.
Oh my god, they were roommates.
I like Halloween too. I think it's a very entertaining movie. Like, I think if I were to just like throw one of these on for fun, I think Halloween 2 would be pretty high up there. I think the kills are pretty good. There's memorable moments. Like the Loomis hitting the guy in the car. That's such a funny moment.
Also, like, what was it? Even though like he comes back and forth with just a scar, I did really like the fact that he did like literally sacrifice himself to blow himself up to kill Michael.
Yeah.
His main goal was to blow up and act like you don't know nobody.
I really like the chase through the hospital. That was like a nightmare brought to life.
It was very claustrophobic with her just being trapped in there, and also it's like for one of the kills.
And when he picked the bitch up.
Yeah.
Oh hell no.
One of the other kills I always laugh at, but I do like it, is when was it with the boiling water? Like, was it he like drowns and just boils her alive, like one of the nurses? Yeah,
in the hot tub. But yeah, I guess Halloween 2 is here at number 5. Here we are, the top 4. I'm kind of at a crossroads right now, as it's my turn to nominate a movie. Either way, I'm causing chaos, I think. I'm gonna say what I truly believe. I think Halloween 4 is going here at number 4, The Return of Michael Myers. I rewatched this one because I knew our special guest Nova really, really, really likes this one.
I fucking love this one.
And I think there's some really great moments, and I totally agree with you that Jamie is a great, like, final girl. Like, I think it's such a twist within the genre that it kind of elevates itself despite being this sequel to a franchise that was like a giant bra moment after they were like, yeah, we can't make this an anthology thing. We need a direct continuation to Halloween. And then they're like, psych, we're doing an anthology thing now anyway. And then everyone's like, what the hell? Michael Myers isn't in this. 6 years without a movie. They don't do anything, and then they bring him back, the return of Michael Myers. And this definitely doesn't feel in line with the first two movies. It very much feels like its own thing with a new approach. I just think it feels a little cheap, like in terms of the scope and the production value compared to the pristine look of the first three movies due to, I mean, just the crew of people that had worked under John Carpenter. Even the third movie, which, again, doesn't have Michael Myers, so it's really controversial in a list like this, that movie is shot beautifully, and the music is so good. And then they take it in a new direction here, and that tone just doesn't really work for me, but I like the elements within the film.
For me, with like one of my gripes, honestly, the biggest thing I just don't like with Halloween 4, it's fine for what it is. I agree with a lot of stuff Nate said, but like the thing I just hate the most with like 4, I think, is the mask, because it's weirdly skinny and it just looks weird. I agree, and just what Nate said, just like with I don't know what the production was, just like I don't know why they just wouldn't use.
I'm gonna use my veto.
What a twist.
I agree.
Yeah, I'll put Halloween 2018 here.
Okay.
Halloween 4, I think, is a very mixed bag for me, but every time I think of something I don't like, there's something I do like. Like, I don't really like that they like killed off Laurie's character like in the beginning, like off screen, but at the same time, the idea of having Michael Myers having a niece and they have some kind of like connection, and like she wears like she picks out the clown costume and like stuff like that.
Crazy. Okay.
I like when a sequel takes chances more than, as much as I enjoy 2018. It's a Halloween movie. I think it's good. I think it's a good start. I didn't see Halloween Kills yet. Halloween Kills, I think, comes out the day this podcast drops, but it's not getting the greatest early reviews, so I hope this isn't a sequel trilogy situation.
Yeah, true. There is some big Force Awakens energy to Halloween 2018.
Yeah, I agree with that, yeah.
Josh, one thing I gotta address, it's the elephant in the room. Halloween 2018 was more or less your introduction to the franchise.
It was. I watched the first one, the original, a couple weeks, I think, before I saw 2018. And it was great, because like all you really need to know going into 2018 was the original, so I kind of did it perfectly. And I still have a soft spot for it. I'm glad it made it up to the top 4, because I think it deserves to be there, because I think it not only got me to become a fan, I think it also started a whole new generation of Halloween fans, or just some people who just never got into the slasher genre until recently, like me. And because of Halloween 2018 last year, I watched so many 80s slasher horror classics for our bracket, and I don't think without Halloween 2018 I would have done that. But also, Halloween 4, I think, is a sequel in a franchise that I wish more franchises would do these days. I think there's too many movies like Halloween 2018 right now, and I wish more movies would do stuff like Halloween 4.
I can respect that.
That's based.
I agree with Josh.
Thank you.
Also, Josh, to your point of getting into the more of the slasher movies and stuff, hey, welcome to the club, buddy.
Oh, thank you. I'm trying my best.
I think another thing we should mention while Halloween 2018 is getting placed here is now there's kind of like resurgence of slasher movies. I feel like we're gonna get like I guess this would technically be like a fourth wave of the slasher genre now. I mean, the Happy Death Day movies kind of came out before, but I mean, that Freaky movie that wasn't very good, that was a slasher. They rebooted Candyman, which is getting super mixed reviews.
Yeah.
They're probably going to give us another Friday the 13th remake, and they're probably going to give us another Nightmare on Elm Street remake at some point. It's only a matter of time. But I think under the Blumhouse model, I'm glad that they're starting to slowly drift away from paranormal movies, because that's kind of all they were really known for the past, 10 years or so.
The 2010s were just filled with them.
It's drawn its course, you know what I mean? Like, everything's about Satan and it's boring. I don't know, like, maybe I'm being too critical, but it's like becoming repetitive.
No, I agree with that.
As a fan of the horror genre, I haven't seen the first movie to scare me that was like now in our time was Hereditary. I fucking love that movie.
True.
What does the panel think of the ending to Halloween 4? Because I feel like that is one of the most interesting endings I've seen in a horror franchise.
Wait, Halloween 4 with that ending, isn't that the one where literally like a bunch of cops just shoot him with like guns and shotguns, and he falls in a well?
Yeah, and then Jamie kills
Yeah, but that's not the scene I'm talking about.
Jamie kills her mom, and she's like standing on the top of the fucking staircase, and Dr. Loomis is like, yeah, with the gun.
I did think that was cool. That honestly, like that, like with
That was awesome.
I thought that was cool, and I was mad with like for what was it with like Revenge of Michael Myers. That was like my problem with this, that they never. And I remember talking with you, I think to you too, Noah, back at the 907. Like I remember like you talking about, because I do agree that I wish they continue with that whole storyline they set up at the very end of 4.
Yeah, I finished Halloween 4, and the first thing I asked Nate was, I was like, do they continue this niece arc? Because that was like the most interesting thing out of that movie.
The answer's yes, but also no.
Yeah.
It was so like I think it wanted Halloween 5 wanted to go that route, and I think it dipped its toes in and got scared because it didn't go all the way through for me. I still like 5. I was a little disappointed after seeing. I love 4 though.
Well, 4 has made its way into the top 3 now. The top 3 Halloween movies, in no particular order, are the original, Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, and Halloween 4. So now there's no vetoes. We all used all of our vetoes, and we're gonna have to fight this out the old-fashioned way.
With our words.
What does everyone have at number 3 or their lowest movie on their list?
4.
I had 2018, but I'll put 4 at number 3.
All right, I had Halloween 4 at my number 5, and I also think it should be number 3.
Trying to think of, I can't really think of a debate when it comes to the other two. Well, I guess Nova, you should have the debate here, right? Because you had the original Halloween lower than any of us.
Yeah, but I think 4 should be here.
I was trying to help. Why is Jamie better than Laurie?
Oh, bitch, don't get me started. Because I felt like Jamie she raised the stakes. I mean, like, yeah, she's a kid or whatever, but like, she was like the first child character for me that wasn't a fucking dumbass. You get me? Like, she was actually kind of like smart while going through it, and now they just write kids to be funny or like Stranger Things as her. It felt like she was like a very intelligent young character, and I liked that about her. And I felt like Laurie, she was just boogeyman. Ah! Like, I like her in the second one though, because she gets in the wing of like what she's dealing with, and even though she's a little like drugged up, right? Because she's running away from him through the hospital and shit. Jamie did better.
One thing I will say about the pacing of the first Halloween movie is it starts off so strong with that iconic opening scene, and then I feel like it really, really slows down, which for me isn't really a problem because I'm a fan of slow burns.
Yeah.
And I think we kind of get that again in Halloween 5, where it has like an explosive beginning and then just takes its dear sweet time to build up to anything. But Halloween 4 is a pretty quick moving movie, like even quicker than the first one. It starts off pretty much Michael Myers just back and killing people.
Finger in a forehead.
I don't have a case for Halloween 4 to be over Halloween, but I could totally understand someone not really, like, especially a modern audience member, trying to go back to the Halloween movies and not digging the first one. Like, I think that's something that even Blumhouse kind of knows, where they're like, yeah, well, we'll just make a movie that, you know, you don't have to have a long history of the knowledge of these movies. The only one you need to see or should see is the first one, but you don't have to go to all the other sequels and the convoluted timelines that we've tried to reboot like twice already. Like, I'm sure there's tons of people that watched Halloween 2018 first because it was out and relevant.
Yeah.
And then went back to the first one and were like, yeah, this was a mistake.
What I like about Halloween 4 is there's a lot of things from the original 2 I feel like get more screen time. Like, this is like Loomis's movie for half the movie, and I love that.
It's really freaky, him in the gas station, and how Michael has like, he's like on that hunt, whatever, right? And he's like talking to him far away. That always freaked me out because he wasn't wearing the mask, and I couldn't always like, just like, I couldn't tell what was on his face. Was it like bandaging or whatever? I don't know.
Yeah, that scene in the diner at the gas station is amazing.
Yeah.
And the way the opening like sequence of that movie set up, it makes you think that Loomis is just straight up not going to be in this movie. So when he shows up and it's like, yo,
that's a please clap moment right there. But yeah, it sounds like we're on the same page here. Halloween 4 The Return of Michael Myers belongs at number 3. All right, here it is. The top 2. I'm not surprised that these are the top 2, but at the same time, with the very many different takes that this panel has brought to the table, I thought I'd have to fight a lot harder for Season of the Witch to get this high. I'm not gonna lie.
We barely talked about it.
Halloween 3, Season of the Witch versus the original Halloween. Let's fight.
Season of the Witch made it in our top final 4 of the 80s horror movie bracket with Matt, I believe.
It certainly did. I think it's one of the greatest movies for capturing the spirit of the holiday of Halloween. For me, it's an essential October watch. I think since I first watched the movie when I was probably like 11 or 12, I haven't gone an entire year without seeing it since. So for me, this is like whatever movie you watch at Christmas. For me, that's Miracle on 34th Street, the original, not the one with fucking Matilda in it. For Halloween season, I have to watch Season of the Witch at least once. I have paid to rent this movie more than any other movie ever released. It's one of my all-time favorites, but I think a case could be made that the original Halloween's better. It's certainly more iconic. I mean, look what the first Halloween did. There are 9 other movies on this list that continue where that movie left off to some degree or another. And Halloween 3 is kind of a footnote in the history of this franchise. It didn't really work. It critically bombed. People were upset that Michael Myers wasn't in it. This title is ass. It should not be called Halloween 3 Season of the Witch.
It should have been
could have
called
been called
Season of the
Halloween
Witch.
2 Season of the Witch, or even just Season of the Witch.
I could see both like going either way, but for me, I do Halloween 3 at number 2. Just like what was it like you said? For if it wasn't for Halloween, I don't know if we would have this movie. It just depends, I think, because like they're definitely 2 different movies. I think it's really cool that they have like the same like people like working on them, like was it a John Carpenter being involved? Thomas Wallace, he was the production designer and editor of the first Halloween, and him doing this I thought was really cool. And I like the influence for Halloween 3 being Invasion of the Body Snatchers. I just thought that was an interesting premise to this kind of story, and also I love the ending of Halloween 3 when I can't remember the guy's name, but he's like screaming for them to stop the television and everything, and just leaves on that very dark note. I always thought that was cool, but the reason I'd put Halloween. Also, I just think like even what Nate just said as well, like with the whole I think the reason too why it was just it bombed, I think, is just because it had Halloween 3 in the name. If it would have had maybe like a Halloween, if it didn't like have the number, or if it was like maybe I don't know if maybe it would have bombed still, but if it had more of like a Halloween story, like kind of like the Star Wars story idea, to where they're not direct sequels, it's just like side stories idea. They did some with that. I think it probably would have maybe worked, but I think it's because it was called Halloween 3. Like people were disappointed. They wanted Michael again. It was because like around that time they had all the other slasher movies coming out, and like it would be after that, it'd just be kind of the same killer over and over again. Friday the 13th. Well, I mean, besides the first one, but yeah.
In today's like how like streaming services are in that, like an idea of this would be perfect. Like every October, say on Netflix, you get another story. This would kind of work perfectly these days.
I am curious as to like if I think of a world where that was the Halloween franchise, I think it would be a pretty sick. It'd be like Twilight Zone type of thing for me, I feel like.
On a broad scale, like theatrical level too, not just made for TV movie every year.
They could have really done that.
For a lot of people, the fun of the Saw movies was that they would release every year in October, and it was something to look forward to. It became an event, even if it wasn't that good, you'd be like, oh well, there's next year's.
You can even watch those Saw movies and tell like the way they were made for the audience to react like,
I think at one point the Saw movies are kind of like everything I hate about horror, but everything I love about the genre like merged into one. It's very polarizing, and maybe that's an episode and a discussion for another time. But I do think John Carpenter's brilliant idea of trying to turn Halloween into an anthology thing, where every single movie, they'd come out annually. There would be a new movie titled Halloween and just have its own unique story, its unique premise, but something scary that happens on the day of Halloween. I think that there's a lot of potential in that. And if that, in that timeline that Nova was mentioning earlier, where that did end up happening, and Halloween 3 Season of the Witch was the direct follow-up to the original Halloween, I think that that might be the strongest idea John Carpenter ever had for making his mark on Hollywood.
Yeah.
A director who I admire, a director who I think we've already covered him. We did it last year on the show, but someone who has made all of these kind of cult movies that have developed a cult following. I think that would have been his way to October is John Carpenter's month, and so many of his other ideas for movies and things could have eventually been Halloween 7 or Halloween 9. Like, vampires could have been Halloween 14.
Yeah, dude,
And that would have been really fucking cool. Like, Ghost of Mars could have been Halloween 22. Like, that timeline just sounds really, really cool to me. And I think it would be a beloved franchise that would still be going on today. But I think it's interesting in the timeline that we do live in, it's still a beloved franchise that is still going on to this day. So maybe that doesn't even matter. And I personally love Halloween 3 Season of the Witch, but it's not for everyone.
And the original Halloween, I mean, without that one, would we have Friday the 13th and all these other slasher movies? That whole decade of the 80s, they might just have to give thanks to the original Halloween that came out in the late 70s to kind of skyrocket that subgenre.
Yeah, we wouldn't have Chopping Mall if it weren't for Halloween.
Yeah. I think the first Halloween should be second.
Well, for me to defend the first Halloween, to have that at 1 is like, this is more just a casting thing. I just think it's so freaking cool.
Perfect casting.
Jamie Lee Curtis is the daughter Janet Leigh. Janet Leigh was the girl that was killed in the shower in Psycho. I just think that was such a cool ballsy thing to cast her, and especially that, and like, I just thought always that was a cool thing. And just also, like, with
did you mention the greatest horror movie of all time, Psycho?
I did. Shout out to Psycho. But also just like, was it like when Nate said earlier with the whole how it starts? I think that's such a cool way to start, just a long like one shot with just the perspective of Michael, and then like kills his sister, and then like the reveal right before it goes to like years later or whatever, it's revealed he's a kid and everything. And it's just, I think it's so unexpected. I think if you were to watch it like now, I think if you've never seen Halloween, I think that would be unexpected. I think
Definitely.
it's so simple with what it does, and I think and how it executes, I think is so effective.
I literally can't look at like a closet with those kind of like rolling doors without thinking of the movie Halloween.
Oh my god, same.
Yes.
I know that that's such a weird like thing, but it turns a part of a house into a set piece of sorts. And I think that that's really, really unique. I can't think of too many other moments in slasher movies or in horror movies in general where you see a part of your house and you're like, this reminds me of that scene in that movie that scared the shit out of me.
It's still like a terrifying scene.
I guess in defense, if you want to talk casting, I think that Halloween 3 has a very interesting cast as well. And it doesn't have a Loomis type. It doesn't have this like supporting character that follows you through the movie. But what it does have is an actual antagonist, like that is a face and a person. And seeing the two sides of Connell Cochran, the villain of the movie, who's behind this whole occult. This story's nuts. He takes part of the Stonehenge and is using the witchcraft within it to make children's masks so he can bring back the occult the occult spirit of Halloween into the mainstream and just I guess melt every kid into a bunch of cockroaches and snakes, which is really fucking cool.
Yeah.
And that scene where they have the family come in and you're following them for most of the second act of taking a tour of the factory, and it has a little bit of that like Uncle Eddie from Vacation vibe, like his weird ass family, and then they just promptly get killed in this room. They watch their son die from watching the TV special. It's one of the coolest scenes in any horror movie to me, and it's such a good premise. But yeah, I think Dan O'Halloran carries this movie.
Yeah.
on his back, and he would later go on to do RoboCop, where he plays one of my favorite fucking villains of all time there as well. I don't know, dude. This movie's got a lot of great character actors in it. I love Tom Atkins. He's also a Carpenter guy. He's in Escape from New York and The Fog as well. He's great in Creepshow. There's a lot of like memorable bit characters that never really got a role this big again. I think that would have just added to the anthology thing of, you know, getting really like people that you know in the background of that one movie and then throwing them as the main character in a horror movie. That sounds really cool to me. I like elevating. I like movies that elevate kind of not necessarily B-list character actors, but you know, beloved members of the industry that never get those lead roles.
Yeah, seeing them get the shine and they deserve. We love to see it.
I like how aside from Spielberg, Nick on every episode of Duel It Takes has had to defend Halloween at least once.
Fine with it being at number 2 for Carpenter. I love The Thing. I think a little bit more, but I had to. But Nate got me on. I think beat me out. I think everybody like voted against me on Halloween being at number 2, and it went to big trouble. But I'm defending it. Like I will die this time. I will go down with Halloween.
Alden, what's your take? What's the NyQuil's take between Halloween and Halloween 3?
I think Alden's asleep.
I think I'm here.
Which one do you like more?
Which one did you pick?
I picked Season of the Witch.
Okay, which one did Nova pick?
Also Season of the Witch.
Then that one.
What? Hold on here, Bal. What?
As you guys were like dishing this out, I went to go let my dogs out and I wasn't listening to any of it.
I love you, Alden. Never change.
I'm gonna have a meltdown.
Unfortunately for you, Nick, Season of the Witch is my number 1 on the list.
I'm having PTSD flashbacks to the Carpenter like ranking now. What the hell? Why are you dissing my boy Carpenter?
Nate invited you on this show
just to make fun of you. I gotta say, this was unexpected. I really didn't think I'd catch a W on this one, but
I demand a recall.
Okay, Ohio, take it easy.
Oh my goodness.
Before we all read our personal lists, we've started this thing where we get some questions from fans and answer them. Josh said before recording it's his new favorite segment of the show. So, what's a trend in horror movies that you'd like to see make a comeback?
Practical effects.
True.
I just saw The Thing for the first time ever in my life with Menke the other day, and it is so like that shit. Like those are practical. Why can't I speak? Those practical effects are insane, disgusting. Absolutely. If they did more of that, I would be so into it.
That's what I'm saying.
I agree. I think like Cronenberg gets a lot of love for that as well. Movies like The Fly and Scanners, like all of those kind of films, Videodrome. I would love to see a return to movies that build up to like set pieces that are essentially just an excuse to have someone's head explode.
Yeah.
I think, honestly, Ari Aster's kind of leading into that too. There's 2 movies in a row from him of heads getting absolutely crushed.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking of too.
He captured occultism so like well in Hereditary that it like felt real as fuck to me. I felt like that shit might have like subconsciously traumatized me.
As someone with experience with occult, yeah, it certainly traumatized me, but I think it's a masterpiece. I think it's a fucking amazing movie.
Oh my god.
I think, Midsummer, I like it even more than Hereditary. And I think how it's able to make broad daylight absolutely horrifying. I think there's a couple like cheap like scares in there, but I think what it does with its story and at the end of the day being like a breakup movie, it's very, very interesting.
Yeah, very good acting.
Phenomenal across the board. Another question is, what is your favorite performance in a horror movie?
There's so many. Holy fuck.
I know it's a cop-out, but I'm gonna go with Anthony Hopkins' portrayal as Hannibal Lecter in Silence of the Lambs. And I know what you're thinking. It's more of like a crime movie. It's not really a horror film. Whenever Hannibal Lecter is on screen, that movie is fucking terrifying. And despite only having 16 minutes of screen time, he gets a fucking actor in a leading role nomination, which just blows my mind. But that proves the impact of his role in that movie. And I think where they take the character in later movies kind of devalues him as being a like a horror movie icon. I think that might be one of the best performances in like movie history, let alone a horror film. It kind of transcends the genre that it's trying not to associate with.
Ew, he's creepy as fuck.
At the honestly because Nova brought up The Thing, the only thing I can think about right now is just Kurt Russell in The Thing.
He's really good in that.
The mother who played Pamela Voorhees, and that's probably one of my favorites. There's other ones too I'm trying to think of at the moment, but that's another one I was thinking of that I really, really enjoy, with her being, the whole twist with her being the mother.
Betsy Palmer?
Yes, that's her name. Yes, Betsy Palmer.
A very, I guess, maybe a normie one? I know I've mentioned him, but Anthony Perkins in both Psycho and the sequel, Psycho 2. Especially Psycho 2.
Yeah.
He's incredible that 20 years later, it felt like he didn't miss a beat.
Yeah, he's incredible in both movies. Very different performances, too, in those films.
It was perfect. Psycho 2 is one of the greatest sequels of all time. I've praised it so much on this show.
I've never seen Psycho 2.
You need to watch it, and you have to let me know what you think. It's so good. For no reason, it's so good.
It's a direct sequel?
Yeah, it takes place 20 years later, but yeah, direct sequel. The events of the first movie all happen.
I didn't know it was a franchise. I thought it was just like a single, and then they made a remake, or like 4.
Well, they do have a remake where Vince Vaughn tries to play Norman Bates, and that one's interesting.
That one's not okay.
I made the mistake of seeing that one first. The Gus Van Sant remake of Psycho.
Isn't that like a shot-for-shot remake, too?
Literally. It's the same movie with worse acting and in color.
Like, what was the point?
The point is it's Gus Van Sant, and he's going to do whatever he wants. I think he's made some great movies, but he did not need to do that.
Yeah. I think my favorite performance, I have 2. I really like Jane Levy in the Evil Dead remake when she's the Deadite.
Oh, that's a good one.
She's fucking, I would not expect that from her, but when you watch some of the BTS, her in the little like cellar thing and she's singing, no, bitch. When I saw that in the trailer, I said, I'm watching that and I'm not gonna watch it. My second one is, it's a fight between Jamie Lloyd, Daniel Harris in Halloween 4, and Toni Collette in Hereditary.
Man, I was gonna say Toni Collette in Hereditary.
Yeah, she knocked me out in that movie. I was worn the fuck out. I felt like I was like crying with her every time she was like wailing like a dead dog. That shit was not okay.
Yeah.
That scene where fucking the Naked Brothers band kid just like goes into the house and lays down in bed and like just leaves his mom to find the body. That was sus that he didn't report the body. Honestly, he should have been voted out that round.
That was the one performance that I felt like actually like I needed like a second after we saw that. Like I was so happy that it was good and I liked it because I was looking forward to it. But like after a while, I was like, damn, that shit kind of affected me, low key.
Random scenes of her in that movie are always in the back of my head, and I don't. It's tough.
The entire third act of that movie, like, it kind of just made me really like tense, like I think a good horror movie does, but like there was almost a level where it made me so anxious.
Yeah.
Like I actually was like sweating and about to have a panic attack just watching a scary movie. Like I know it's all a movie, we're gonna walk out of the theater and go sit in our car after, but like I was scared, man.
I was not expecting those last 20 minutes to happen. Once I saw that bitch floating in midair, I said, oh, bye-bye.
Nova brought up, was it Evil Dead, and I just forgot about Ash and Bruce Campbell's Ash, and that's another one I wanted to add to one of my favorites. I forgot about that one.
He's awesome.
I think that does it for the question segment of the podcast. Does everyone want to take turns reading their list? Nova, you want to go first?
11 is Halloween Resurrection. 10 is H2O. 9, I'm having trouble counting backwards because I didn't number these because I'm a dumb bitch. Sorry. Halloween 2 Rob Zombie is next. Then I have Halloween 2018, Halloween 2008, the Rob Zombie remake. And then Halloween, the original. And then I have Halloween 6, 5, 3, 2, and 4.
Nice. Nick, what's your list?
For me, number 11, like Nova, was Resurrection. Number 10 was Halloween 2, Rob Zombie. Number 9 was Curse of Michael Myers. Number 8 was Revenge of Michael Myers. Number 7, Return of Michael Myers. 6, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Number 5, Halloween 2. Number 4, H2O. Number 3, Halloween 2018. Number 2, Halloween 3. Number 1, Halloween.
All right, fasten your seatbelts. Mine's spicy.
Veto.
You can't veto my list. Number 11, Halloween 2, Rob Zombies. Halloween 2, that is. Number 10, H2O, or Halloween 20 years later. Number 9, Halloween 5, The Revenge of Michael Myers. Number 8, Halloween Resurrection. Number 7, Rob Zombie's Halloween. Number 6 is Halloween 6, The Curse of Michael Myers. Number 5, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. Number 4, Halloween 2018. Number 3, Halloween 2. Number 2, Halloween. And number 1, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Alden, you want to go next?
Yes. Can you pick a number 1 through 3?
3.
Oh.
You have 3 lists?
Well, 11 is Halloween 2018. Halloween Resurrection. Halloween The Curse of Michael Myers. Halloween 2, the original. Halloween Revenge. The original Halloween. Halloween 4, The Return. H2O, Out of Water. Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Rob Zombie's Halloween and Rob Zombie's Halloween 2.
Wild list there.
That was the list I brought in just to kind of ruin things if I needed to.
Oh my goodness.
Josh, what is your list?
I only had a top 5. So number 5, I had Halloween 2. Number 4, Halloween 2018. Number 3, Halloween 4. Number 2, Halloween the original, and number 1, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch.
All right, and the group list, the one that we made together and that you heard us fight over or talk about, I don't know, whatever you want to call it. Number 11, Halloween Resurrection. Number 10, Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. Number 9, Halloween, H2O, 20 years later, Out of Water. Number 8, Halloween 6, Curse of Michael Myers. Number 7, Halloween 5, Revenge of Michael Myers. Number 6 is Rob Zombie's Halloween. Number 5, Halloween 2. Number 4, Halloween 2018. Number 3, Halloween 4, The Return of Michael Myers. 2, the original Halloween. And number 1, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. Well, there you have it. Thank you so much, Nova, for joining us. And Nick, we'll get to you next week. We're ranking Halloween candy in a tier list format. Nova, what is your favorite Halloween candy?
Candy corn as the fuck. I love candy corn.
Based, I agree with you.
I love candy corn. That's all I can say. You know that girl that says I like eggs in the Amanda show? That's me on Halloween. I like candy corn. Oh my god.
What's your take on circus peanuts? Are they goated?
Disgusting. I hate nuts.
Fuck.
Nate, are you one of the only people that like circus peanuts?
You'll find out next week. Nova, is there anything we can plug or promote for you while you're on here? We can put links in the description of the podcast and the YouTube podcast.
I have no link. I would talk about Skies, but I don't want to talk about it yet because we're about to do something. So
don't talk about it till you need to.
Yeah, just it. Send me good vibes. That's all I ask.
All right, everyone. Send your good vibes to Nova. And yeah, we'll have cool stuff to promote for her down the line in the future.
Oh, yes, you will, Mama.